What is going on, guys? Shiny Fox here, back with another video. Today we have our ESA, aka the Elite Showdown Association Draft Analysis. So this is a league run by my boy Mystical. His channel link will be in the description below. I don't think he posts, but still, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm an admin in that server. So yeah. This is basically just one of your standard GBA type drafts, with the, like, tier 1, tier 2, 2 tier 3s, tier 4, tier 5, mega 1, and then 4 free picks with 400 points. And, yeah, you guys know all that stuff already. Anyways, up first here, we had the 6th pick overall. We got our boy Tapu Koko here, our boy Loco. This thing usually never lasts till 6th pick. It's usually one of the, like, top 4 picks. Like, usually it's, like, Coco, Lando, Celesteela, and if they have something broken, like Magearna or anything like that, would be, like, those would be the top 4 picks. And I was 6th pick, so I was surprised to get this thing, and I wanted to build around this thing because it's a really good mon. 115 base attack and 95 special attack, both can be used very well. Nice 130 basis speed, very nice for speed tiers and such, and it outspeeds so much, which means most of the time you can run modest, and then it gets a pretty big move pool. Like, on the physical side, it gets stuff like Brave Bird, and what else does it get? Like U-turn. It gets both U-turn and Volt Switch, which is really nice because if they have an electric immunity on their team that, like, stops Coco, that I can run U-turn, but if they don't, then I can run the stab Volt Switch. This thing gets, like, Roost, so you could run, like, some kind of, like, Roost Call Mindset. Iron Head could be really nice. Oh, I forgot to do Z users before I made this. So I'm gonna make this thing a Z user. Let me just put the Electrium Z on there. So I forgot to list my Z users, but whatever, it's fine. I already know what I'm gonna do for my Z users. So yeah, that was Coco. Next, I was watching. So we picked Pelipper here. I was watching one of my boy, Kelly, or Under the Radar, one of his, like, draft viability things, and he said that Coco's really good with rain, so I wanted to try it out with rain, because if you guys didn't know, in DBA Minors, I went 5-1 before it died with rain, and I had Politoed as my rain setter instead of Pelipper, and in my opinion, Pelipper is a bit more of a better rain setter, because it gets, like, U-turn and stuff, but, like, so I have rain. It supports Coco well. It gets 100% accurate thunders. It's also good for another one on my team. This thing, surprisingly, it gets a good amount. It gets an actual pretty good amount of coverage. Like, if it had a better physical attack, it might be, like, pretty good offensively. 65 speed. Like, this thing really doesn't have that good of stats. Most of the time, you're probably gonna, like, run it bulky. But the thing about this thing is just it sets rain for 2 Pokemon I have on my team, and that's just amazing. Next, we have our boy Yachty here, our Weavile. In the video, Kelly also said that Weavile pairs pretty well with Coco, along with one other one on my team is really nice with Coco. So I got Weavile. Before the draft, I was thinking about getting Weavile anyways, because I felt like using it because I haven't used it in a while. Weavile, it's one of the best. It's like an amazing breaker, and it's also one of the best cleaners in the game with base 125 speed. It outspeeds, like, pretty much everything. Well, not pretty much everything, but like a lot of stuff. And then Knock Off and Icicle Crash. These two moves are just amazing. It gets coverage with like Poison Jab and Shadow Claw. Maybe if I'm Mimi, I can run like a special set with Surf. It gets priority in Quick Attack and Ice Shard. It also gets Fake Out and just gets a bunch of stuff, and it's just an amazing cleaner. Like, Coco just breaks the walls and stuff, and then Levi can clean them up. And then next here we have another mon that pairs well with Coco, Zygarde, 10%. I already had 2 tier 1s, so I couldn't get Zygarde to 50%. I didn't even think it was still there by that time. But this thing, it has the same attack set as Zygarde with base 100. It also gets Dragon Dance just like Zygarde, and 1,000 arrows and 1,000 leaves. And it's like, it's basically crap. It's just Zygarde that's faster and less bulky. It doesn't really take hits too well, but at base 115, it outspeeds a good deal of stuff. Like all the base 100s and the base 110s and everything under that. And this thing was also a pretty good breaker and setup sweeper. It's a really amazing ban user. Gets priority in extreme speed, and in my opinion, like one of the best moves in the game, 1,000 arrows, because it's base 90 power, 10 less than Earthquake. But this thing can hit flying types, which is amazing. And it's just like 1,000 arrows is so spammable because nothing is immune to it. The only thing that stops this thing is grass types. And grass types are really good against this thing. But it also gets coverage, like it gets Crunch and Brick Break and Rock. It gets Rock Slide and Stone Edge, Superpower, Zen Headbutt. So it gets a good deal of coverage as well. Next, we have our first Rain Sweeper here in Kingdra. We got our second dragon. It doesn't add too many weaknesses other than Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is just actually pretty good against my team, and I try to stop Freeze Dry later with some of my picks. But we got our first Rain Sweeper here in Kingdra. In Rain, this thing just hits super hard. Base 95 and both attacking stats, and then 75, 95, 95, and it's bulk. And then with the base 85 speed, that means in Rain, it's pretty much base set, 170. Meaning nothing will outspeed this thing. Wait, okay. In Rain, nothing outspeeds this thing other than if Excadrill gets in sand, but then we're not in Rain technically. And then Deoxys speed, but that's not allowed, and Ninjask, but I think a Scarf Ninjask, but no one picks Ninjask. So this thing is just if it's in Rain, it's outspeeding your whole team. And then Draco, Specs Draco, very spammable, gets Ice Beam. Not that bad physical too, getting Waterfall and Iron Head, and it gets a good deal of coverage on both sides is what I'm trying to say. Next we have our boy Barry Bonds here, the Swampert, because he's on roids. This thing is an amazing Rain Sweeper. It has a ginormous amount of bulk with base 100, 110, 110. So, Click Your Grass Knots will probably still live, because I, most of the time, can run a lot of bulk, since, I'm in Rain and stuff. It could also set rocks for us, which is really nice, and it's just another thing that can clean up. Next, we have one that I've been wanting to try for a long time. We have Liberty, the Bronzong here. This thing, it can give rocks to us. It says Trick Room, although we're not really much of a Trick Room oriented team. We have like a mon in the back that could be decent in Trick Room. And it's just like out of tier 4, this thing is really good. It can attack pretty decently on both sides. Like for something that's this much of a wall, it has pretty good attacking stats. And it gets like oh damn it. It gets like the coverage it needs to get like oh my goodness. Like it gets like Earthquake and Psychic moves, and Heavy Slam and Gyro Ball are really nice. It gets Rock moves and Trick Room, as I said, for a mon in the back. It's nice. This thing's just a nice mon, and I've been wanting to try it. Next, we have our boy Spores here, the Among Us. I was looking to get some more bulk on the team, as we were looking pretty offensive right now. Does this thing get T-Spikes? No, but that's fine. So this thing is in tier 3, which usually it's in tier 2, and it has, like, when you look at this thing, you're like, but it's not that much of a wall. Like, even Swampert has better. Defensive stats than this thing, but it can attack pretty well with base 85 on both sides, and that ability and regenerator is really nice. It also gets Spore, which is 100% accurate sleep. So it can like Spore you, then it can just like Sludge Bomb and Toxic and stall you out and that stuff. It's also really good as Soul Dust user. Next, we have our last thing to pair with Coco. We have one thing I forgot to mention about this thing is it does kind of get weakened a little bit by Coco, because like it can't click Spore and Electric Terrain, but it's fine. So we have a Alolan Raichu here. We couldn't get Hawlucha because someone already picked it. I guess they picked it with another Chapu, but that is okay because we got Alolan Raichu here. This thing, it's not as good like to pair with Electric Terrain as Hawlucha is, but like it's still okay. Like Thunderbolt. Oh wait. Oh wait. I have to make this decision later, but I don't know. Do I give the Z to Zygarde or the Z to Raichu? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Why did I put Power Herb on it? I don't know. I'm still thinking about that, but this thing can hit really hard. It's also another good cleaner. This thing's a very nice Volt Switch user, so we have a bit of Volt Turn going on with this thing. Wait, what the hell? Overheating. No, it's not, but okay. This thing gets Volt Switch and U-Turn. This thing gets U-Turn. Then this thing gets Volt Switch, and I thought we had something else that got Volt Switch or U-Turn. I guess not. It's fine. So we have 3 things, which isn't that much, but it's still fine. Less than I thought we had, but still. Surf, it's really nice to hit those ground types, so we don't have to run Hidden Power Ice. And then also Extreme Speed. It's not really much of a physical attacker, but it kind of is. Like, it has close attacking stats. But this thing's just like a cleaner with Coco. As my team is looking a bit like MVs right now, and for GBA Season 8, having the Coco, Among Us, and Raichu. Next, I have a Ferroseed here. I was in desperate need of hazards, as my only hazard setters were Stealth Rock on this and Stealth Rock on that. So I needed more hazards, and this thing gets spikes, it gets Stealth Rocks, it could T-Wave you. It's mostly just for the hazards, but also Leech Seed, and also Gyro Ball. Like, so it didn't bother me picking a second Steel type, as it doesn't like give us any extra weaknesses. Like, Fire isn't a problem since we have Rain. And then, so then, wait, what else is it? Ground, but neither of them are weak to ground, because this thing gets Levitate, and this thing has part Grass type. So yeah, it didn't bother me picking a second Steel type. And then also I gained a Grass type off of this. So yeah, pretty good trade. And then last year, I have to come off of this. We have our boy Balam here, that's Scrafty. I wanted a bit more bulk, and also I wanted something that can like, what am I saying? I just wanted a fighting type. This thing also serves as another setup sweeper, and it gets a really nice amount of coverage. Like, it gets a lot of coverage, and if it had a better HP stat, it would be like an amazing wall. But for this thing being a tier 4 Pokemon and lasting all the way till around 11, I'll gladly take it. And it can, like, it's fine with, like, it can, okay, what I'm trying to say is, like, it could be a Trick Room Sweeper, just, like, so my opponents will have to prep for that. I don't know if I'm going to bring it. I might. Just have to see. And it just gets an amazing amount of coverage. It can heal itself up with Drain Punch. It also gets... Whoa, whoops. And just look at all that coverage. Wait, does it get Stealth Rock? No. I saw a rock move that started with S. So I was like, Stealth Rock? Anyways, that was the team, guys. Get hyped, because week 1 should be out next week, I believe. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Peace.